He's a yo, una manigina na kala, una gandia he's a yo. Tu sambana, una kelana, una yo. To Samana, No, to Samana. Kimbo, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 Campbell. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kimbo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Kimbo. Okay, Kimbo natatanzambi ya Mazulu. Kwa jina la kuswa Kongo, Yahweh bena Yahweh, Betwabu Bana Betu, Betwabu, kwa jina la means in the name of, um, in Lingala that I've learned. Um, Praises both to the Tatanzambi and Pungu Tulendo, who is raising up the Bantu people in this time. Um, I know I'm just coming back on again because I had a wonderful day um, talking with people. Um, a lot of things are starting to come to pass, and I mean, I'm still listening to other people. Something when I have a chance, you know, I know that we are now moving into a new phase in this awakening, and I want to honor and give those who are working diligently in the vineyard of the Most High. Like Yesiah said, pray that the Most High will send workers out into His vineyard, and I pray more of us will come. I want to honor all the brothers in this awakening and our sisters as well. We know that we all are trying to do our best to bring our people together, which is the whole point of why I'm here to do this. This is about the Most High and the Most High only. And the Benanzambi, Yusuf Kristu, who was our link, I call him Yusuf Malongi, who is helping us to see the true face of the Father, the true teachings of what He came to do, what the prophets, the Nabi, came to tell us, and how we're able to now see through the veil of those who don't see it. That's being lifted before our eyes to see the things that have been done to us. And so it's very important that we do what we can, especially in this awakening, to help our people um, continue to grow in knowledge and wisdom. And I pray that the Most High will continue to help me to do that. I may sound a little tired. Last night was rather fascinating, and today has been an interesting day. Had a nice conversation with some folks, including my brother Mikael Massa and some folks he had online with him about some of the things we touched upon. And yeah, it's to hear some things from my brother Yanata Chilombo, and um, of course, there's always some discouraging things we hear, which, even in this walk, we know that there's going to be, um, there was bickering among the Abafundi, which, that's why they went their separate ways at some point. They also, we had issues with where the 7 assemblies were created because there were adversaries there. So I'm speaking low. Once again, it's nighttime. My wife is asleep. So she's had a long day. I'm coming again because I want to give some clarity. We're going to go scripture wise, and I'm going to bring up some scriptures that's going to kind of bring a much bigger picture to what we can expect and what has been happening actually that people just weren't aware of because of the hidden knowledge, um, to give clarity to what people are questioning, what people are bringing up, what people think is false news, what people think is misleading. Like I said, we do have a lot of agents in this awakening that intend to cause confusion. And I know for a reason why there are certain books that were banished from our site, because they kind of put a little bit more perspective into and clarity into what the false Messiah has done to deceive the Bantu people, and to also help us to identify us better, and to also give clarity to continuing to cause people to not recognize what the days of Noah look like. So I am going to start, first of all, with the prayer. Tatazami ya Mazulu, Bayetu Nkosiyami, Kemanayo Hallelujah. Matona Masakila for this day, once again to come before your people and to hopefully be a beacon unto them in a way that you will use me, as Yisu also was with me, the Mwandan Semi, the Maleki Congo, that we will be able to get a sense of what the times we live in, to understand that this is not a time of panic, that this is not a time to also listen to the voice of the Mwanda, to help us to bring guidance to ourselves and to walk in righteousness and in their statutes. Kwa jina la kuswa Kongo Yahweh bene Yahweh, Tatanzambi Yamazulu, Ingeta Hallelujah. Okay, so we are familiar with this scripture. I'm going to read it. This is Matthew 24. We talked about it a little bit last night, but I want to get a clearer understanding of when Isaiah, that we know, Yesu Christu, Kuswa Kongo, you want to call him Jesus Christ. We know that he's, been changed up many times, but our people know him, we call him Yeswe Hamasia, why we call the people of the way, Abantu Benduela. So I'm going to go to Matthew 24, starting from verse 37. Actually, we're going to go back to 34, where it says, Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Now, those of us in the awakening understand, as I mentioned before, the Most High is in the Bible, but the Bible is not the Most High. So these are for those of us who are awakened, that fall under the star of Alba, that know who we are, that know the Bantu people, that know where we're going, that have our directions, and we're trying to get ourselves going in the right direction so that we know that we can prepare for the things to come and to glorify the Most High in all ways and the truth, and to help not longer be bringing confusion, but unity, to help a better understanding of what Rome has done to make changes and all that, and why they hide certain things from our people. Because they don't really, like I said, it's never been about, they wanted to deceive the Gentiles as well, but it was all about making sure Jacob stayed asleep and not aware. And we now see that more things have happened because of this. So it says here, heaven and earth shall pass away, but the words shall not pass away. So we know that there's going to be renewal here of heaven and earth, but the Most High's, what he speaks will linger. Okay, and this is my words, is Jesus Christu using the Most High power to show the authority that he has to tell you this. But of that day or hour knoweth no man. This is why I'm not a date setter. I know we mentioned something about April 6th, and I did it in a video, but we never said anything was going to happen. All we know is there's some prophecies that have been told, and some things are on the way that many people may not be aware of because of our deceptions. not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So the Most High, he knows when he's going to bring this. And just like what happened with Noah. And he says, but as in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that they were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Let's see. I want to go where it talks about the lightning. So remember I said we talked about this last night. For as the lightning cometh out of the east to the west, shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. And the days of Noah match up with that. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven, and the powers in heaven shall be shaken. Okay, then knowing this, we said, then shall appear the Son of Man, which we know think these are backwards because of prophecies we're seeing. And then all the tribes shall mourn, and you'll see the Son of the Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and glory and all that. Now I know I've heard people talking about the 3 days of darkness. Some believe it, some don't. I'm going to show where you have scriptures that write about darkness before judgment. This was actually just to give you an idea. People don't understand there's several cultures besides Christianity that always looked at darkness as a sign of things to come, especially with eclipses and everything. The Mayans, all of the cultures always looked at when darkness or a sign of darkness was coming. That means that something was going to come upon the earth. And this kind of gives us a connection of how we're all related to Noah and all the past things that have happened, that many people have seen these signs before. People don't even realize that when Josiah was on his stake, and even though we know he didn't die, he died in the flesh, but not in the spirit, because he really didn't die. He just left the body and returned to his spiritual self to go do his work for the 3 days. That what actually happened was the sun became darkened even then, and there was actually a great earthquake even then. Shook Rome, shook the earth. A lot of people felt it. Okay, the Most High, he does this all the time. He does these signs, he does darkness, he does shaking, he does whenever there's a sign of we have done something that we know we should not have done, and his wrath is kindled. This is a similar thing that happens with the Most High. So this is a trend that that's why we say he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So I want to show, this is not a common scripture that's well known. This is the book of Jasher, and it's mentioned in the Bible, but it's not there. So I'm going to show you why there's not a lot of clarity. Hold on. I know when I see this, when I look at this again, it looks like I'm just picking around, but it's because this thing is in front and I can't see it. And so that's why it's hard to see. All right, so here we go. This is the book of Jasher, chapter 6. And I'm going to start reading from the top where it talks about it. At that time, after the death of Methuselah, the Most High said to Noah, or Nuhu in Gala, go thou with thy household into the ark. Behold, I will gather to thee all the animals of the earth, and the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the air, and they shall come and surround the ark. And thou shalt go and seat thyself by the doors of the ark, and all the beasts and the animals of the fowls shall assemble. So look here, they do it themselves. This is the interesting part when I'm reading this. It's like, wow, they shall assemble and place themselves before thee. You know, a lot of times we say, oh, he went and gathered them. No, they brought themselves. This is how you can tell animals are more obedient than people. Okay. It says here, place themselves before thee, and such of them as shall come and crouch before thee, shalt thou take and deliver into the hands of thy sons, who will bring them to the ark, and all that will stand before thee, that shall leave. And Tatanzambia, the Most High brought those about on the next day, and animals, beasts, and fowls came in great multitudes and surrounded the ark. So just to give you an idea, to relate this to the days of Noah, do you see how Noah, the Most High, brought these animals to the Most High? I want to see I'm going to show you the correlation. Let's go to Matthew 24 when the Most High when he talks about the gathering. See, it says, and he shall send his angels. So this would be the animals are being guided by the angels. See, with the great sound of a trumpet, which we now know the right trumpet for the tares versus the wheat. We know what that is. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. Sound familiar? Okay. So the Malakis are the messengers bringing these animals in. Okay. So he's saying, oops, I went to the wrong one. Sorry, I'll get to that one in a minute. So it says, and the lioness came with her two whelps, male and female, and the three crouched before Noah. And the two whelps rose up against the lioness and smote her and made her flee from her place. And she went away, and they returned to their places and crouched upon the earth before Noah. So the animals knew that who was going to be. So this is how the animal. This is called the elect of the animals. They knew who was being selected and who wasn't. Interesting. And the lioness ran away and stood in the place of the lions. And Noah saw this and wondered greatly. And he rose and took the two whelps and brought them into the ark. And Noah brought into the ark for all the living creatures that were upon, so that there were none left, but which Noah brought the ark. Now, see, one of the arguments that many scholars argue, how do you get all these grown animals into the ark? Well, there you go. They came as babies. What does this science say the correlation is in? We must be like unto little children when they come before the Most High to be saved through his Mwanda. Sound familiar, huh? All right, so, and Noah brought into the ark all from all the living creatures that were upon the earth, so that there was none left, but Noah brought into the ark. Two and two came onto Noah in the ark, but from the clean animals and clean fowls he brought 7 couples, as the Most High had commanded him. So you know this is why the Most High is showing you he's still even with the animals that he determined was unclean. Hello. So this will give you an example that gives the connection between the clean of the Most High, which would be his chosen, and the unclean of the Most High, who are those that are not his chosen. They still get to come. So the correlation to this would be that many of the Bantu people who are chosen will also come with the sojourners. Okay? You guys got to understand the Most High, he's doing the same thing here. And all the animals and beasts and fowl were there, and they surrounded the ark at every place, and the rain had not descended until 7 days after. Now listen to this. If you choose to believe the scripture or not, that's entirely up to you. But look how the similarity is what I just told you about the day of the Most High. And this is even in the Old Testament, and it says the day of the Most High come. Let's go. Actually, let me Google that. Let me show you this, the simulation. The similarity, not simulation. So, of course, you gotta write scripture. Gotta love. I hate Google sometimes. Let's go to the day of the Most High. Isaiah. Let's see. Let's go to Isaiah 3, 9, and 11. Let's go to let's put it in there. don't know why I can't spell today. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna switch it to the KJV, which a lot of people are familiar with. Let's go here. All right. Now, why did it go? I stumped the right one. Sorry. 1 second. These people are frustrating. That's the judgment against the harlot, which will be the same. Let's find the one that matches what I'm about to tell you. So Zephaniah is saying, nearer is the great day of the Most High, near and coming very quickly. Listen to the day of the Most High, Tatanzambi. In it, the warrior cries out bitterly. Hey, who are the warriors? Bana Betu. The day of the wrath is that day, a day of trouble and distress, a day of destruction and desolation, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of trumpet and battle cry against the fortified cities and the high corner towers, which is going to be the skyscrapers. And it says to read more, I will bring distress on men so that they will walk like the blind because they have sinned against Tatanzambi, and their blood will be poured out like the dust and their flesh like dung. Neither the silver nor the gold will be able to deliver them on the day of the Most High's wrath, and the earth will be devoured in the fire of his jealousy, fire this time. For he will make a complete end, indeed a terrifying one, of all inhabitants of the earth. And that's why when I learned something about Revelation 20, chapter 3, it makes sense why, now I know why there's a modification in the return of the dragon. And I didn't realize, there's a secret there. And, people are going to learn soon that this is something that they tried to say, but isn't going to happen. Okay. Here we go. And this is exactly what Isaiah says. And people want to keep saying, okay, 3 days of darkness or whatever. Not true. Behold, the day of the Most High is coming, cruel with fury and burning anger, to make the land a desolation. And he will exterminate its owners from it. For the stars of the heaven and their constellations will not flash forth their light. It's going to be completely dark. Who are the stars? The angels, the Malakis will stop shining because he'll order them to. The sun will be dark when it rises. That means it's not going to show, and the moon will not shed its light. This is why I'm telling you they're trying to fake this thing about, science is trying to darken the sun, because they're doing it with this fallen angel hybrid from Egypt days when the sun was darkened. Once again, the Most High does things the same when he brings judgment upon nations. It happens all over. Okay, we have to remember this. And even the earth is the same way. Okay. The moon will not shed its light, thus will punish the world for its evil and the wicked of their iniquity. But I will also put an end to arrogance of the proud and abase the haughtiness of the ruthless. Okay. This is one that's similar. For the day is near, and even the day of the Most High is near. It will be a day of clouds. Okay, that's darkness. A time of doom for the nations. A sword will come upon Kamata, And anguish will be in Ethiopia, which we know where that is. Okay. When the slain will fall in Kamata, they take away her wealth and her foundations are torn down. Now, this is not talking about the Egypt. This is deceiving. This is where Kamata. Remember, I told you about a pastor. He kind of gave it with me a secret. The whole earth is Kamata right now because of the worship of the beast and the worship of the false messiah that has always been going on that you weren't aware of. That's why Egyptian symbols are all over the planet. Eiffel Tower, yes, it's a modified obelisk. The obelisk in Washington, D.C. Where else is it? There's the one in Dubai. They have obelisks all over Africa. You see them all over the place in what do you call them, cemeteries, all kind of Egyptian symbols everywhere. Okay, the Masons put them up. Okay, so it says, once again, Amos 5, 8, and 20, 18, 20. Alas, you who are longing for the day of the Most High, for what purpose will the day of the Most High Lord be to you? See, because why is he saying this? Because some of us will not, you don't want to see this day. Okay, you really don't want to see it because many of us aren't going to make it through. It will be darkness and not light. It will be as men flees from a lion and a bear meets him. So it's going to be chaos. It's going to be destruction everywhere. Or goes home leaning his hand against the wall and a snake bites him. So you're going to see dangers everywhere, around every corner. Will not the day of the Most High be darkness instead of light, even gloom with no brightness in it? Okay. He will be the only light, people. Okay, once again, Joel 2, 1 and 2. Blow a trumpet in Sion, Zion, a sound and alarm on my holy mountain. This is the alarm that's going to be sounded for the terrors. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Tatanzambi is coming. Surely it is near, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the dawn is spread over the mountains. There is so great and mighty. There is a great and mighty people. There has never been anything like it, nor will there ever be again after it. To the years of many generations. Remember, he shook Egypt, people. He even shook Babylon. He did this all the time. Let's see, where's the one with the earthquake? Here we go. The Most High rose from Zion and utters his voice from Solomon or Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth tremble. But the Most High is refuge for his people and a stronghold to the zonos, to the Bana of Yisolele. Stronghold is mentioned. This is exactly like an ark. Then you will know that I am the Most High your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. So Jerusalem will be holy, and strangers will pass through it no more. And in that day, the mountains will drip with sweet wine, and the hills will flow with honey, and all the brooks of Judah, Yaoundé, will flow with water, and the spring will go out from the house of the Most High to the water of the valley of Shittim. Hello, there's no thing about Gentiles being the top. Yisolele. Okay. So let's go to this book. This is what he said happened that day. This was the day of the Most High before it flooded. And on that day, Tatanzambi, caused the whole earth to shake, and the sun darkened, and the foundation of the world raged, and the whole earth was moved violently, and the lightning flashed. Hello, lightning from the east to the west. Thunder roared, and all the fountains in the earth were broken up, so as was not known to the inhabitants before. See, like never happened before. Sound familiar? It's going to happen, like you say. And the Most High did this mighty act in order to terrify the Muntu, the sons of men, that there might be no more evil upon earth. So he sent out, this is a warning. Chill out before I flood you. Again, it's going to happen. He's going to send a warning. Chill out before I burn you. And still the sons of men would not return from their evil ways, and they increased their anger against the Most High at that time, and did not even direct their hearts to all this. And at the end of the 7 days, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, the waters of the flood were upon the earth. I did a video that talked about the correlation with the 600 years, when that was when the Most High began to turn us towards our captivity in the process of Belgium, and that's when the around that time 600 years ago is when the colonialism powers were starting to motivate, to maneuver themselves to start to occupy Africa, Embu. Even though I know, yeah, you're gonna say the Muslims were there, yes, but we still had our nation set up, okay, as we now know, and now it was going to be altered. 120 years ago, Kimbangu started to sound the alarm. Change. The world's going to change. The Most High is going to restore his people. He's going to restore his remnant. He's going to save his remnant. Hello? 600 years later, where we at? Okay. I'm going to go to Genesis to get the similarities. And it came to pass that when muntu, or men, began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, which is mostly the side of Cain. Because at this time, we know there's a scripture they hid from us where Seth's children were separated until Satan deceived them. Okay, and the Most High said, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 20 years. Here's your 120 years. Warning. Right there. There were the giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, this happened after the flood. That's what they made giants before, and they made giants after. That the Most High, that the sons of men, the sons of God, which were, of course, the Malekis, came unto the daughters of men and bare children with them, which my wife now knows they called them the seven sisters. And there's a star constellation that talks about it. They same came mighty men who were old men of renown. So these mighty men, of course, are Malekis. Okay? And you're going to find out there were Malekis that were actually helping Noah, not against him, but they deceived that. The same became mighty men. So they were very much on the earth doing things. And the Most High saw the wickedness of the men, muntus and men, was great on the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts and of his heart was only evil continually, just like now. And it repented the Most High that he had made on the earth, and grieved at his heart. Now, people always want to say, oh, he made a mistake. No, it's just the fact that this is something that hurt him. It's like, wow, why did these people, they don't understand what they needed to realize that he was the true creator. And the Most High said, I will destroy the man whom I've created from the face of the earth, both man, beast, and creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth that it made them. Notice that the ones in the ocean or sea, well, definitely the oceans were kind of dried up, but there were things in the water. Like people kept saying they'd never seen rain before, but there were still forms of water. Okay, so it's like people say, well, that's why you see dead fish on top of mountains. They say, oh, it's evolution. There was a lake. This is when the mountains rose and all. And they showed it in the movie 2012. Okay. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was just a man perfect in his generation, perfect in his generations. That doesn't mean he was flawless. Compared to the other people, he was better. The rest, that means they were really bad. See, it says he begot 3 sons, Semi, Kama, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. Is the earth filled with violence now? Oh, yeah. And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. Okay, so now we're going to go down to where it says, make thee an ark of gopher wood. In this fashion shall it make it, the length of it shall be. A window shall make the arks. He talks about making the ark again. Again, here we go. Two of every shalt thou bring, but 7 of the, okay. But he said he brought, now it's funny, in this one it says 2 of the clean things. See how they like to modify things. Why the inconsistency? Because the number 7 is the Most High's holy number for cleanliness, for righteousness. Okay. So once again, now he says of every clean beast 7. Okay, 7 is the number. 7 days before you enter the ark. Fowls also air 7 males, 7 female to keep the seed alive upon the face of the earth. But he still had what? Compassion for the unclean animals. Works the same way now, the days of Noah for people. And Noah did according to unto all these things. Noah was 600 years old when the flood was in the waters. Okay. Let's see what it says. So notice how they didn't tell you. Like I told you, they're slick like this, people. This is why they don't tell you. Okay, let me go back to Joshua. This part right here. Because it's always the same. He brought the thunder, he brought the darkness, he brought the lightning, just like it says, Matthew 24. All right. So now let's talk about plagues, judgment. People talk, we know we're going to be a second Exodus. We know the Bana Betu are being ready to go home. Let's look at that now. Because you have to remember, these plagues were upon the earth too in the days of Noah. Similar stuff. I'm going to go to Joshua once again. And at the end of 2 years, so we know we just got a warning from Pastor Mello. Let his people go. Let the Most High wants his people to go. Got 10-year warning. Okay. At the end of 2 years, the zombies sent Massa to Pharaoh to bring forth the children of Yisolele, and send them out the land of Egypt or Kamata. And Masa went out and came to the house of Pharaoh, and he spoke to him the words of Tatanzambi of the Most High and sent him. But Pharaoh would not hearken to the voice of the Most High, and the Most High aroused his might in Kamata upon Pharaoh and his subjects. And the Most High smote Pharaoh and his people with very great and sore plagues. Okay, we got a lot of these type. We got God-like people right now. God, like the pharaohs, doing the same thing. And the Most High sent by the hand of Aaron, turned all the waters of Hamata into blood. We've seen water get turned into blood lately in various places. And what did the scientists start to do? Oh, this is what caused it. The crabs are it. What's going to happen? Remember that they're going to give excuses to the Pharaoh. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Da, 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 da. Okay, so let's go to this. Let's go to the Exodus version. Likewise, afterward, Moses went and told Pharaoh, "Thus says the Lord, Tatanzambi, let my people go, that I might hold a feast unto me in the wilderness." Talking about the feast again, the feast of the Messiah. Remember? And Pharaoh said unto the Most High, Pharaoh said, "Who is this Tatan? Who is the Most High? Yah? Who is Tatanzambi? Who is Yahweh? That I shall obey His voice to let Yisolele go. And I know not this Lord or this Bana, this Mungu, which is God, neither shall I let Yisolele go." And they said, "The Most High of Yisolele, Kabiru, Mukongo, the Most High of Congo, which we know this was changed, has met with us. Let us go pray with thee," because this word didn't exist. 3 days journey to the desert and sacrifice unto the Most High, lest he shall fall upon us with the pestilence or with the sword. 3 days. This is a common theme with the Most High. 3 days. How long was Isaiah in the dirt? Which we know they fabricated it. It's not the 3 days of the truth. It's a lot longer than what they're telling you. Okay, sun up, sun down to sun up. 3 days journey into the desert. And the king of Egypt said unto them, "Wherefore do ye Moses and Aaron let the people go from their works? Go you unto your burdens. Get you unto your burdens." And the Pharaoh said, "Behold, the people of the land now are many, and yet make them rest from their burdens." So again, this is when they bring hardship, because he said, "Let us go." And they're bringing hardship on us now. If you ain't paying attention, black people are really getting it right now. And the Pharaoh commanded the same day as the taskmasters of the people in their office, saying, "Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick as to herefore. Let them go and gather straw for themselves." So they kind of have to hide this a little bit, because they don't want you to know that you're in Kamata. So they're actually taking away people's wages, making people broke, struggling with money. You see what and especially in the black community, this is starting to become a big deal. They're starting to get, with COVID and everything, they said, "Oh, because of the pandemic, we have to keep you away from work." Okay, people started to struggle with their money, right? Same thing. "And the tale of the bricks which they did make hereto, ye shall lay upon them, ye shall not diminish out thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to the Most High." Isn't that what we've been asking us to do, to go to Angola, or go back to the Most High and to bring his sacrifice? Remember what we're bringing, which is not really sheep or nothing this time, because we have the Yisolele, so we're bringing gold, or bringing, to his holy mountain. "Let there be more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words." So again, making life hard on the Bantus. "And the taskmaster people went out, and their officers, and they spake to people, saying this, I will not give you straw." So of course, they're taking away, or they taking, remember they said this thing about taking away welfare now, and taking away all kind of stuff. that's helping us, that they put us on in the first place because of what they did. Go ye get straw where you find it, yet no, not out of your work shall be diminished. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Makamata to gather stubble instead of straw. So of course they try to say you got to get your job done no matter whether you can come to work or not. You still got to do what we say. So this is happening even now. People got to show up to work. People got to figure out how to pay the bills, all that. Even though the money's not there, or even making it hard for them. Okay. And the offers of the children of Yisolele, when Pharaoh of taskmasters had set over them, some of these taskmasters are Bantu people, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have you not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today and hereto? Anybody ever been to a job where the boss is like, hey, you didn't get this done yet? Hello, get on it. Well, I had that. No excuses. See, this is the same thing. And they're gonna say, oh, well, they do this to white people too. Yeah, because the whole point of this is they can't let on to the fact that what? You are the Mukongos, you are the Bantu, you are the chosen people of the Most High. Like I said, fallen angels are not stupid. They know how to mix it up now that they're trying to hide the truth. There is no straw given unto any of my servants. Make them. So it says, you are idle. So once again, we don't get straw. And as you can see, they make life hard on us. And it's still happening even now. Now let's get to the plagues. By my name, Yehovah was I not known to them. This word Jehovah comes from the Bantu Yahweh, Yehovah, okay? And this is what they knew him as, Sonini, of course. He told Masa Sonini Nanini, but Yehovah, Yahweh, okay? So let's get to the plagues now. Try not to be too long. I'm just trying to get you an idea of what's coming because it's all going to come together. What did it do? One second. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Who did it? So if you get mad about us not going home yet, what's the Most High doing? He's hardening Biden's heart, whatever leader in this world, until he said this is going to happen. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt, because he's trying to give them a sense of who they're dealing with, because you're not gods. He's going to show them who he is, that they think they're bigger than badder than him. He's going to let them know you have no idea who you're dealing with, and that's going to happen again. Because these secret societies, they think they're above him like Nimrod. Because this guy has a soul. He worshiping Nimrod in the form of another god at this time. And Egypt shall know that I am the Most High. Stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Yisolele. And Aaron did as the Most High commanded, so they did. It says Moses was 80 years old, which is 40. Aaron 83, 43 years old. Then they spake unto Pharaoh. And the Most High is 40 is 40. Remember, think about that when it comes to what we talk about with Toko. Why that's an important number in 43. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, shew a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses went unto Pharaoh and did as they did, and the Most High commanded Aaron cast out his rod, and Pharaoh for a serpent, and became a serpent. Then the Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, and this is the god Thoth with the two snakes. I told you. Now the magicians of Kamata, they also did in a like manner with their enchantments. So this is what I'm telling you. When the Most High does it, they're gonna try to replicate it too, so that you're not none the wiser of what's really happening. And this is what they're doing now. But because it's a modified version of Kamata, they use science. Okay. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart that he hearkened not unto them. And the Most High said to Massa, his heart is hardened, he refuses to let my people go. So we're going again. Go to unto Pharaoh in the morning, lo, he goeth out, come on to the water, and shall stand by the river's bank, come, and the rod which turned to a serpent shall then take in thine hand, and thou shalt say unto him, the Most High of the Bantus, the Congos, has sent me unto me, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness, and behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus says the Most High, is this thou shalt know that I'm Tatanzambi. I will smite with the rod in my hand upon the waters, which the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish, and we've seen bloody water here around the world. It says the fish in the water shall die. We've seen dead fish before. The river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe the drink of the water. And what do the science always say? Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. Just like this. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying to Aaron, take thy rod and stretch out thy hand upon the waters, upon their streams, upon the rivers, and upon the ponds, and upon all the pools. Water, they become blood, that they may be blood throughout all the land of Kamata, in both vessels and wooden vessels as well. And Massa Aaron did so, and the Most High commanded lifted the water on the side of Pharaoh, and the side of his servants, and all waters there were blood. Now again, the magicians come, and they do the same thing. But in this case, because they're hiding the concept, they just come and say, oh, well, the water turned to blood because of this, that, and that's what they do. That's the role of the scientist. His job is to counter, the scientist's role is to counter the Most High's plagues, to show you what causes it to change to blood. So then, of course, we smite with the frogs, and we know when they see a lot of frogs, they'll tell you, oh, well, we know we had a flood in the water, and they start explaining the frogs, right? Same thing. And you see a lot of frogs show up, scientists start explaining why all these frogs came up. They won't tell you where you're at. Okay. Now, we know the rest of these plagues. I'm going to get to where it says, this is when you know the Most High is getting ready. See, like right now with the earth, people are getting warnings, subtle hints up to this point. Now we're going to get serious. Flies. That's why I knew that. It's funny because now that I know where I'm at, the stuff that kills flies is designed to stop these plagues from happening. Then they know it. And also your plants and stuff, pesticides. So again, and they went 3 days into the wilderness, another 3 days. Okay, we got the swarm of flies coming. Now it goes hardness hard again. Behold, the lamb is upon the cattle of the field. They've all died. And this, I'm telling you, this is why they're talking about artificial meat, because they're trying to have an answer for that. That's why they made it. But see, only people going to have the mark going to get it. Watch. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, once again, we have so the cattle died. So it says here, and it shall become of a small dust and sea. And the Most High said to Moses and Aaron, take you the handfuls of ash and furnace and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh, and it shall become small dust in the land, kamata, and shall be boiled, breaking forth with blains upon man, upon beasts throughout all the land. And I really truly believe that what's going to happen with the witnesses is they're going to be doing this stuff in front of this false Messiah that causes this stuff to start happening now that he showed up. And the magicians could not stand before the Most High because of the boils. The boil was upon the magicians, upon the Egyptians. Okay. And the Most High Tomas said, rise up early in the morning. Now, we have the pestilence. And it says, then you have the hail. Then you have the fire and the hail came down, fire and brimstone, smote the fields. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something that's different from this book that's also that they hid in another version, is because when we griped against leaving, some people died. So now we have the locusts. Okay. Now, there's another reason why the locusts got taken away in another version. And I'm going to show you what happened there. Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven. There was darkness in the land. 3 days. Hello. Where are we? Are we not in Kamata? Are we not in Babylon? Are we not in captivity? So then why would we not see a repeat of it here? Is not the United States of America been deceived that they are in fact Kamata? So I'll just leave it at that. And the Pharaoh called upon Massa and said, go ye serve the Most High, let your flocks and your herds stay, so that your little ones also go with you. Now, of course, after this one, we know after the 3 days, it's going to be the angel of death. So here comes the plague to kill every firstborn. All right. So let's go to Joshua. It's going to be interesting. So he said he turned the water into blood. They kneaded the dough, their blood. This is the version that they actually put in the Prince of Egypt. If you don't know that, not the one from Genesis, the book, the version from Joshua, and also in Gods and Kings. Okay, and when the Egyptians drank, their bellies were filled with frogs. Okay, so the pestilence will show up in your body. You're gonna be swallowing tadpoles, turning to frogs. Okay, it says that all their drinking water and cooking water turn to frogs also. When they lay in their beds, their perspiration bred frogs. Yeah, see, this is gonna be what the craziness you're gonna start to see now. That's gonna be like, what? They're gonna be able to explain it. Okay, so it says, notwithstanding this anger, the Most High did turn from them. His hand was stretched out against all the Kamata to smite them with every heavy plague. He sent and smote their dust to lice. Now you know why they created lice killer. Lice came in the Kamata and the height of 2 cubits upon the earth. The height of 2 cubits. Let's look. What is 2 cubits? Let's take a look. Let me show you how much lice that is. So that's the length of your arm, basically. 1 cubit. So if it's 2 cubits, you walking through almost 2 feet of lice. Is what he's saying. That's a lot. Wow. Okay. Then he said, the lice are also very numerous in the flesh of man, beast, all of the inhabitants of Egypt, also upon the king and queen. Tatanzami sent the lice and grieved Kamata exceedingly on account of the lice. Okay, so now, notwithstanding this, the anger of the Most High did not turn away, and his hand was still stretched out over Kamata. And the Tatanzami sent all the kinds of beasts. Now listen to this. Sent all kinds of beasts of the field into Kamata, and they came and destroyed all of Kamata, man and beast and trees and all things that were in Kamata. And I've actually had a vision about this one. I'm going to show you something. This is the apocalypse. Let's see, hold on. Where is it? This is the apocalypse of Abraham. Where is that? Where did it go? Where did it go? Ah, I know y'all was like, man, didn't you just pull it up? I can see it. All right, here we go. This is the apocalypse of Abraham, which is kind of similar. These are 10 plagues that he talked about, which of course, this is another one where people don't even realize. They say, oh, who wrote it? We don't know who wrote it. Well, we know it's Bantu culture. We know it came from us. So here we go. He said unto me, what is desired in thine heart? I will tell thee, because thou hast sought to see the 10 plagues which I prepared for the heathen. And I have prepared beforehand at the passing over the 12th hour of the earth. When did we say Simon Toko? We always hear the 12th hour. Okay, that he died at midnight. They lied about the 3 o'clock. He died at midnight. Hear what I divulge to thee. So shall it come to pass that the first is the pain of great distress. What does that look like? Like a lot of riots, people crying out, hello. Isn't everybody rioting right now up against the government, ticked off? The second, conflagration of many cities. Hello, conflagration. Let's look it up. I don't remember that word. Okay, an extensive fire which destroys a great deal of land or property. what happened recently in Los Angeles and Northern California and Colorado and other places where you see to it. Hello, fire. Fire. So this is happening. We see fire happening in other places. We saw fire happening in South America. You see forests. The third destruction and pestilence of animals. Hello, Kamata. Sound familiar? The fourth hunger of the whole world and its people. I remember my Makayan zombie said, began to store up food because I'm even starting to see. I was at the grocery store and they said that they're running out of the stuff on their shelves all of a sudden. Why is that? The fifth by destruction among its rulers. So they're fighting. See, here we go. Destruction by earthquake and the sword and the sword. Yeah, we see those happening. It's going to get better. The multiplication of hail and snow. Yeah, what did we just see in February? And the hail is coming. We know that's happening in the south. The seventh wild beast will be their grave. Okay, so let's go back to what he said in Jasher. It says the beast, the Most High, all the kinds of beasts into Kamata, and they came and destroyed all of Kamata, man, beasts, and trees, and all things that were in Kamata. And the Most High sent fiery serpents, scorpions, mice, weasels, toads, together with other creeping and dust. Flies, hornets, we talked about the killer hornets, fleas, bugs, gnats, according to its kind, and all reptiles and winged animals according to their kind came into Kamata and grieved the Egyptians exceedingly. And the fleas and the flies came into the eyes and the ears of the Egyptians. And the hornet came upon them and drove them away. And they removed from their into their inner rooms and pursued them. Now check this out. When the Egyptians hid themselves and accounted the swarm of the animals, they locked their doors after them. And Tatanzami ordered Sulanuth, which I'm thinking is some kind of a being, which was in the sea, to come up and go into Kamata. And she had long arms, 10 cubits length of a man. And she went upon the roofs and uncovered the rafting and flooring and cut them and stretched forth her arm into the house and removed the lock and the bolt and opened the houses. So here's the thing. When I saw that, I was like, so when the plagues come upon this earth, they're gonna try to lock themselves away, and he's gonna send something to unlock the door so that you can't escape it. Okay, I was like, that means you're not getting away, no matter what you try. That's all that means. Afterwards came the swarm of animals into the houses that grieved them exceedingly. Notwithstanding this anger, the Most High did not turn away from the Kamata, and his hand was yet stretched out forth against it. Now, I understand, people, this is going to happen because now all of a sudden you have the fulfillment of this false Messiah. So the Most High's plagues are going to come upon us for the recognition and allowing people to even consider this, and for listening to these false people. I told you that we have the leaders replacing the pharaohs, including this false Messiah who replaces the pharaoh. We said he's basically the spirit of the pharaoh. Even then was the spirit of Nimrod, and so now we have the spirit of Nimrod / Esau now sitting in the place. Okay. Okay, so now here's what he said. And afterwards, a swarm of animals came into the. Okay, so notwithstanding the anger, did not turn away, Kamata, and his hand was yet stretched out forth against them. And the Most High sent the pestilence, and the pestilence pervaded Kamata in horses and asses, and the camels, and herds of oxen, and sheep, and in man. And in man. And when the Kamata rose up early in the morning to take their cattle to pasture, they found all of their cattle dead. And there remained in the cattle of Kamata 1 in 10, and out of the cattle belonging, see, it says, and there remained of the cattle of the Egyptians only 1 in 10. So you see, you're gonna see a lot of the, you're gonna have some left, but they're gonna be very much. And the cattle belonging to Yisolele and Goshen. Goshen obviously is part of Kamata. For this name before, not one died. So what we're saying is, if you are Bana Betu with the mark of the Most High, and you are saved through him, you will not lose any animals or anything of your house because you are protected. So you got to remember, the Most High doesn't let you get touched. And when Tatantami sent burning inflammation into the flesh of Kamata with the burst in their skins, you see that, you see all these commercials, and this is what I'm saying, you see all these commercials now where you see people having all of these ailments and they come up with all these different medicines. Like you have inflammation, you have this, you have that. See, you don't understand. These are pestilence that are already hitting us, but the quote unquote alchemist is now coming up with answers to deter this so you don't see it, that you're actually being plagued, which is going to eventually turn against them. You'll see. And the Tatanzami sent a very heavy hail, which we've seen heavy hail here in America a lot. Some big ones coming too now, which smote their vines and broke their fruit trees. So you're going to start to see hail in the United States and other parts of the world, and we're starting to see it already, where people's trees and stuff are going to get damaged to the point of no repair. Also, every green herb began to dry and perish, for a mingling fire descends amongst the hail. This is like the fire and brimstone we're talking about. And also men and beasts that were found abroad perished of the flames and fire of the hail, and all the young lions were exhausted. So if you go outside, that's why Moses says stay inside, because this is what's going to happen. And Tatanzami sent and brought numerous locusts. Now listen to this part. And Kamata, the Chazel, the Solemn, the Chargo, the Chago, what they got? The Chago locust, each of each kind, which devoured all that the hail left remaining. Then Kamata rejoiced at the locusts. This is why, remember, they said in the other book, the Pharaoh was saying, he pleaded, but watch this. They rejoiced, and also they consumed the produce of the field. They caught them in abundance and salted them for food. And Tatanzambi turned a mighty wind from the sea, which took away all the locusts, even those that were salted, and thrust them into this is the Sea of Reeds. Not one locust remained within the boundary of Kamata. Tatanzambi sent, okay, here we go. And Tatanzambi sent darkness upon Kamata, that the whole land of Kamata and Pathros became darkened for 3 days, so that a man could not see his hand when he lifted to his mouth. And at that time died many. Okay, now look, pay attention. Pay attention. Because you got people now that's trying to tell you about this 3 days of darkness. You know, they're trying to throw it off and they're trying to make it look. But pay attention to this part. Because we got people like this right now. That's happening even today. At that time died many of the people of Yisolele. Not Hamata, Yisolele, who had rebelled against the Most High, and who would not hearken unto Moses and Aaron, and believe not them that the Most High had sent them. So guess what? You have people in this Bantu awakening that are trying to get you to hearken onto the voice of Massa and Aaron again. We know Pastor Mello is of the tribe of Levi. We know most Massa is likely the same. Okay. And other people of the Bantu awakening saying, hey, look, this is coming to you. You better be careful. And look what it says. And this is why you think they didn't put this in Joshua. Because they don't now you see why they're telling you. Look, you don't hearken to the voice, you're gonna die too. And it happened when this 3 day the darkness hit. And he said, and he who said, we will not go forth from Kamata lest we perish with hunger in a desolate wilderness, and who would not hearken to the voice of Massa. So these people perished, and the Most High plagued them in the 3 days of darkness, and the Yisolele buried them in those days without the Egyptians knowing of them, rejoicing over them or rejoicing over them. So you're gonna say that they didn't even know they died. So the 3 days of darkness actually killed Hebrew Bana Betus. Yeah. And the darkness was very great in Kamata for 3 days, and any person who was standing when in darkness came remained standing in his place, and that he was sitting remained sitting, and that he was lying continued lying in the same state, and that he was walking remained sitting upon the ground in the same spot, and that this thing happened to all the Kamata until the darkness had passed away. So it did freeze, it froze them. Okay. Yeah, they put that one in the Bible. Why do you think that? Oh boy. And all the days of darkness passed away, and Tatanzambi sent Massa and Aaron the Bana Yisolele, saying, celebrate your feast and make your Passover. Ipaseka. And he changed it to, for behold, I come in the midst of the night amongst all Kamata, and will smite their firstborn, from the firstborn to a man to the firstborn of a beast. And when I see your Ipaseka, I will pass over you. We got instructions for this right here, the second one. But this is going to be now the person that's going to be bringing this is going to be Kuswa Kongo, the wrath of the Most High. He's going to tread the wine presses. And the children of Yisolele did according to all that the Most High combined, and Massa and Aaron thus did that day and that night. And it came to pass in the middle of the night that the Most High went forth in the midst of Kamata and smote all the firstborn. So here you go. He did it in the middle of the night, right? You think he can't do it again? See, because he gonna catch you. He gonna catch you sleeping. That's what this means. He gonna catch you sleeping. So when you least expect it, he gonna catch you sleeping. Out, lights out. So why am I doing this? Is because, you know, we as a people have a tendency to think that everything, because we hear it and because everything we think we know comes from distorted teachings, that doesn't mean that there's some truth to it, because the devil has to teach you some truth in order to deceive you, period, or else you wouldn't be deceived. You can't fall for it if you don't think it's true, okay? And us as Bana Betu, we know our scriptures better than anyone. That's the problem. Many of us over here in the diaspora, we think we know. That's our problem. But there's those who have seen it that know better than we do. So the thing about it is, they know what art. There's people who know what our original scriptures say. They don't. That's why the problem with the elders is they're not really revealing the secrets, but the Most High is going to force the issue. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, all these things have to happen again. Why? Because people don't know We're in Babylon, Egypt slash Persia slash all these different captivities all rolled into one, all worshiping the secret, the false Messiah in secret, and a modified version of these kingdoms, a modernized, I should say. So they're hiding it better. That's why it's called Mystery Babylon. That's why it's called, you know, Kamata in secret. It's like we have the names of Egyptian gods being said in our language again, but it's been done secretively through secret societies. So the point is, the Most High has to even be more aggressive with his plagues because of the fact that they have tried to prepare this time. Okay, same people, same mindset. Now they remember what has happened. They're trying to prepare for it, and they're trying to hide it from people. You know, so it's not going to look identical in this passion, but it'll be pretty bad. The similar things are going to happen. You just don't know it. Okay, so what I will say in closing, hallelujah, is that when we look at this time that we're in, like I said, we know this guy has shown up. For those of you who are not familiar with the movie The Seventh Sign, the movie The Seventh Sign, 'cause that's when they actually saw that. I made a mistake. Left Behind did the same thing as Seven Sign with the frozen Sodom and Gomorrah, and they had that dude Carter Phillips. Remember, that movie showed some things which was bringing forth once again the Antichrist. When they try to say, "Oh, she can stop it by Demi Moore," it's like, yeah, that's a lie. When the Most High when he starts, you're not going to pull it back. It's not going to happen. And so we have to remember that in this time, in this awakening, that now the whole earth has to suffer this in addition to the days of Noah, the destruction. Okay. And so it's going to be unexplainable. That's why I wanted to get into when it says, like Toko said, when it says here, I just read it the other day. No, I can't find it. Excuse me, sorry. All right, so it says it right here. Soon after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. Okay. So when Toko talks about it, it says right here. Um, where did I see it? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. I just read it yesterday. Now I can't find when he said it. Let's see. Sorry. He talks about where he says, He talks about making sure we stay faithful for the hour because no one knows it. So of a day and an hour, however, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. For as we said in the days of Noah, so would become the Son of Man. For in the days of the deluge, they took place as well as they ate, drank, marriage until the day when Noah went to the ark. Okay. What did I see? Why is it not coming up today? Hold on. Sorry. And now I'm trying to find that because I just read it yesterday. Now I can't see it. Where he said there would be the 3 days of darkness, his crown would come. I know he said that the the crown would precede him, and then the earth would be darkened for 3 days. Well, I mean, I know you, if you watched my video yesterday, I did find it. I don't know why I can't find it. I guess I'm a little tired, but yeah, he said that his crown. Let's see, hold on. Maybe I think I know. Oh, I just found the number of the saved that I was looking for the other day. Let's see, domination, dominion, New Jerusalem. Now I know I read something about the 1,000 years, and I guess I got something revealed to me that I guess there's going to be a change in that people aren't aware of. That was something that was designed for people that don't know that it was a second attempt. And this says, and there will be signs in the sun, moons, and stars, and on the earth there will be anguish of nations and perplexity by the roar of the sea of the waves. Men will faint in terror at the expectation of things that will come upon the world. Heaven's power will be shaken. They will see the Son of Man coming in a mivim with power and glory. Behold, he comes on clouds. Every eye will see him, and those who pierced him, all the tribes of earth will mourn. Yes, in Gita. Where did he say? Dang, I just read it yesterday. Huh. Wow. I just read it yesterday. Anyway, so because he said it gave the sign of Jonah. Where did I see that? All right. Well, hallelujah. Bana Betu. This is what I'm trying to get across is that this is what we need to prepare for. This is something that we need to start understanding that we need to get our hearts right. We need to make sure we're repenting, to stay out of wickedness, to prepare our hearts and minds to continue to do what we need to do. I got it's fortunate I got the stuff that we did in our we had in our meeting when we did our assembly about how to get rid of family curses. So I'm hoping to start that maybe tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm hoping we'll see. Um, and then, oh, I can't believe I cannot find that today. So weird. I think it was the Armageddon. Is that where I saw it? All right. Well, I just know that we can expect something similar to what he talked about, to what we're talking about. And so, yeah, it's gonna be a crazy time, but also remember those of us who have a clear understanding of what's in front of us, that we don't have too much to worry about as long as we're staying. So like I said, I'm not knocking what people think. If they want to say what they want to think, that's on them. I just know there's a consistency throughout the history of the Most High's judgment that he does things basically the same. That's why they don't want that's why they had to start doing these. That's why the devil had to keep throwing out these false signs when people kept saying, "Oh, eclipse, it's going to be the 3 days of darkness and this and that," because he's trying to make it look like, oh, it's just don't pay attention to this stuff. It's all garbage. See, it didn't happen. Stuff like this, and so basically trying to throw people off and get people confused. Had people talking about it sooner than when it's going to happen. All these different things, but now things are really going to get interesting with a lot of signs and wonders that we're going to see. So, all right. So, Matona Masakajila, once again, for all of you that are continuing to support what I'm saying. I'm hoping that you are blessed with my words. And I think that as we will see things unfolding, that there will now come a time when the world will start to believe. Like I just read to you in the book of Jasher, look what happened when those didn't believe the warning. He actually did kill the Bantu people who didn't listen. So that's something that we can expect a repeat of when I'm hearing some people prophesying about that too. That there are going to be those who will be humbled, who chose to go against certain things, and we're going to see some major events happen when changes take place. All right. So once again, the Vuvamo, Salbona, and I want to say Sambololo and Kintwadi.